Welcome to this tutorial, which is going to be talking about 4 of the titles that we can find in the title punch set from useful effects. Whereas most of the title punch effects are in fact in the effects category, 4 of these are in the titles area, which is because they're meant to be applied on top of text. And the eraser, oops, redact, and underline are examples of those. So we're going to be going through how we can work with these in combination with your titles. We don't need these anymore. I'm just going to delete these. And we're going to go to our next clip to start talking about it. So here we have something that is perhaps not quite accurate. We want to correct that. So we shall go over to the titles, and over useful effects we see the title punch category. And you have the choice of several of these. So we're going to use oops and just drag that on top there. And you can see that it draws an X on top of that. So we're going to cross out Belgian. And of course you can change the width, you can change the speed. So just playing through that, we see that it's a little bit slow. So let's increase the speed a little bit. And you could go down, of course, if you want to lower it down so that it goes very, very slowly, or increase the speed. So let's just use that. All right, so that seems nice and fast. Obviously you can change the color. A couple of other interesting parameters. You can change how many strokes are being used. If there's 1, 2, or 3. And each one also has an accompanying set of strokes so that each time you do it, you're not using the same exact strokes all the time. All right, so for 1, you have different strokes as well, different shapes. The 3 has a lot of different variations. So you can go through those and just try out something that you like. Scribble's particularly nice. I like Scribble a lot. So you have different ideas there to use. We should probably slow the speed down for a little bit of that. Okay, and that works for me. Now the other ones work pretty much the same way. So what we're going to do is just take this. I'm going to copy this out. This is just the text that we had before. And I'm going to drag it down and just change that effect, change that title to be Maui, and we'll just put that right there. So for example, if I use the underline, we'll just go here. It makes sense to do some retiming here, so we'll just put that right there, and then we'll underline that. So the underline works the same way as oops does. The speed slow by default, we'll increase that speed. Maybe change the color. All right, so just moving it around until we have something we like. And we'll just play through that and see what it looks like. So we can obviously work on the timing, but you're getting the basic idea of what's going on here. Now there's something that's a little bit more subtle, and we're going to go to the next clip to take a look at that. So in this case, it's a similar idea to what we just had. And again, something's not quite right in the title itself. So what we'll do is we're going to use the eraser this time. And we'll call that up. And what happens is we're actually punching a hole through all the clips. It looks like it's drawing over, similar to what the redact function is doing. So if I put redact here, you can see that, there we go. So this is something you might do to cross out, for example, the word surfing. But eraser is a little bit different in that it's actually punching a hole through everything in the background. So what I'm going to do is just position it so that we're going to be erasing the word Brussels. We'll go there. We'll increase the width just a little bit. Maybe increase the speed so it goes a bit more quickly. Now let's just see how that looks. All right, so that's erasing it. But the problem is we're also erasing the clip behind it. In fact, we just want to be erasing the text. We don't want to erase the clip. First of all, I'm going to make a copy of the text, and I'll just ignore that for a moment. So that was just a copy of the text there, just ignoring that with the V key. And I'm going to take these 2 titles. I'm going to control click. I'm going to say new compound clip. And we'll just give that a name. So we'll say that is erase. And what that does is now the eraser effect will only work on the title and it's not affecting the background. It starts and ends right about there, so what I'm going to do is take that title that I had before, I'm just going to start it in here, make it visible. I see the word Brussels is there, that's not quite right, so I'm going to change. Again, this is the second title that I copied, so we're going to use the word Maui here and just drop that in like that. So now it's going to play through and then Maui appears. And that doesn't really look as elegant and smooth as we might want it. It just pops on. So what we're going to do instead is go back and create another eraser title. We'll make it the same length as Maui. And we'll position it on top of the word Maui. And increase the speed so we know that we can be sure that it's covering the whole thing. And this time, instead of erasing it, we're going to use the rub-on effect. And what this will do is actually reveal it instead of hiding it. All right, so it goes in and draws in. Again, we could use the speed, increase that a little bit, and just see if we like the timing of that. That seems to be good. But again, we have exactly the same problem we had before, in that it's erasing everything behind it. Before we had it doing with the erase effect, now we're having the rub-on effect, but now everything else is disappearing. Exactly the same solution as we did before. We select these two, we control click, we say new compound clip, and we'll just say rub-on. And now, let's just play through. And Brussels gets erased and Maui gets drawn in. So that's a little bit how to use some of the titles that you can see in the title punch set from Useful Effects.